How's it going, everyone? So my name is Liam O'Brien, and this is my personal growth for sales performance um, based off the questionnaire on the 30 days. So let me dig deep into this. Here we go. So what is personal growth? I wanted to start with this to make sure everyone was kind of on the same page as far as me going through this. And personal growth it's different for each person. It can't really be directly defined, in my opinion. But for some, it could mean self-help or self-growth. It could also mean self-improvement. Uh, it could also, for some people, mean that it's just whenever you seek to better yourself in a way um, that's good for you. So that's can also be personal growth. And this would include bettering your temperament, your education, maturity, relationships, and more. For me, I think another good way of looking at it, the way that I kind of interpret it is just kind of looking back and just simply asking yourself, like, am I adding value to myself and becoming a better person? I think for me, that's what personal growth is. And I think that's something that can be done consciously or subconsciously. And I think in our example with us, we like in this project, we're doing it consciously, but I think in a lot of smaller moments every day, we don't realize that we're actually personally growing subconsciously. So why is it important? Personal growth has many benefits that can help you mature in many areas. And before I get into what those benefits are, I think it's important to realize that personal growth has no consequences. I think personal growth only has positives and no negatives to it. You can only go up from uh, personal growths. So one of those would be happiness. I think just focusing on yourself, personal growth, and trying to just strengthen yourself and become a better person uh, would increase your overall happiness, as well as increase productivity, especially with personal selling. I think if you're one, again, like your overall happiness is up, and your stress is down, and there's, when you're just worrying about yourself and like kind of block out external factors, your productivity goes up. Uh, and kind of along the same line, that can help meet your goals. So one, you're able to set goals, which I think is a good thing. Um, but then actually being able to accomplish these goals. Um, and then lastly, you have healthier relationships. So I think when your stress is down, again, you're not worrying about external factors. It's easier to talk to people and have better relationships, and it makes you a person that people want to gravitate towards because you're a positive person. So it causes healthier relationships. So how to start personal growth? Like, where do you go from there? So where do you begin? And I think the first step would be self-acceptance, which would be taking a look back and just accepting who you are as a person, realizing what your strengths are and also what your weaknesses are. I think both are very equally important. So once you do that and you realize, well, all right, what are my weaknesses? How can I improve on them? Set up short-term goals. It's not going to come in a day. You're not going to be able to improve everything about yourself in one day. But short-term goals every day, getting 1% better every day, will add up eventually and accumulate. So also you have to uncover your passion. So you have to be passionate about what you're trying to do. If you're not passionate about it, don't kid yourself. You're not going to accomplish it. So you're going to want to work towards something that you care about. And then also continuous learning. This is a learning journey for you. You're always learning about who you are from your mistakes, and then learning who you are as a person. So there's always little uh, mini little things to learn from, and lessons, was what I was trying to say, many lessons every day that you can learn from yourself, that one, to not make the mistake again, then also change and then make sure that next time you don't do it again, and grow from what your experiences are. So my strengths from the questionnaire that we did for the class was trait self-efficiency, which was one's belief as to his or her capability to perform a particular task, even under less than ideal circumstances. I think for me, being an athlete, playing sports all my life, is a big reason why that was my strongest trait. Uh, I think when in sports, when you're losing, and maybe there's not an ideal circumstance as far as the score line and how much time's left, and you need to get a point or a goal or whatever it may be for your team. Um, Being able to overcome the adversity and still try and get that done, and try and win. I think that goes on for the next trait for me, which is grit. It's the trait level capacity to direct ongoing effort to a longer term goal or project. For me, grit is something that you can always control. It's just like how hard and how determined you are and how committed you are to a certain task or long term goal. You could always control that. That's never out of your reach. You could always control how hard you work. And then personal growth initiative. So active and intentional personal growth, which a person knowingly self-initiates, which I thought was interesting for me, being one of my stronger suits, just because this is a personal growth um, project. Moving on from that, what is the most important one was my biggest weakness, which was active empathetic listening, which is the process of active listening, sensing, processing, responding, overlaid by empathy. So that can also be defined in a clearer way, which is like just a structured listening and questioning technique that allows you to develop and enhance relationships with a stronger understanding of what is being conveyed, both intellectually and emotionally. So for me, what that meant was when you're in a one-on-one conversation, especially in personal selling, it's showing that you're listening, and showing your emotions, that you can read the emotions of your prospect or customer, um, and being able to relate and show that you care about what is being said. So I'll talk more about that, but moving on from this slide, how can you improve on that? So one, again, self-aware, taking a step back and realizing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and being able to hold yourself accountable and accept those results as well. Two is patience. You're not going to be able to do this in one day and then all of a sudden be a great active listener and be able to show empathy like you've been doing it your whole life. As well as in conversations, you have to be patient, especially in personal selling. There's patience to make the final sale and hear back from a customer. It's just part of being a good listener and showing that you care. Um, Also being more open-minded. Don't make assumptions about people before going into a sales call or a sales meeting. Um, Making sure that you get the same pitch to every person as you would. Give the person your undivided attention, no matter who it is. Making sure that they hear you, that you're again, or that not again, but that you're listening carefully to feelings and facts. Um, Making sure that they're heard, that they feel valued. Um, and then a big part of that is showing that you're listening. So not only doing it, but showing that. How do you show that? Well, that's with body language, looking them in the eyes, giving them a good handshake, nodding your head, giving good gestures, always showing respect, smiling. Just little things like that that add up that can help a customer feel more positively towards you and also help you with personal selling. And then also following up, you want to make sure that you did everything possible for you to make the customer happy, and also that there wasn't anything that they weren't dissatisfied with. That something that you could have done that wasn't done, that could have helped a sales call or something else, or your relationship, even just moving forward from that. Excuse me, from that. So some actions that I took to improve in the last 30 days was I took time to self-reflect. I just had to, it was difficult at first for me to accept what my weakness was, but it's something that I had to come to terms with. And so when I did, one of the things that I did to improve my listening skills and show empathy was I reached out to friends and family more often over the phone, back in New Jersey. So I'm originally from New Jersey. So I reached out to people from there. I was just having conversations with them more often than I normally would. Not that I wasn't having conversations with them, but again, now it's just more often, and just showing that, I'm putting more effort out there for them. I was also setting up one-on-one meetings and working on building new relationships. So I set up a one-on-one meeting with someone that I'm trying to work with in the marketing and music industry. So I was networking there, but also this one-on-one meeting, I was able to improve my body language, improve my listening skills, and also show that I cared about what was being said, and it reciprocated back, and it showed in our relationship in the meeting because it went well. So I was happy that I was able to focus on that during a situation like that and also improve upon it. So bigger picture, how does this relate to selling today? Like why is this important? So no matter what, the customer always wants to feel valued. They always want to have a sense of power in a way, especially in personal selling, that they have the upper hand. and that you understand that it's not about you making the sales call, it's about them and trying to get what they want out of it. And I think especially today with an ongoing pandemic, people want to be heard. So I mean, we were in quarantine and lockdown, and it may have felt like no one was hearing them, or that, it was stressful times for them. So now in this, it's a weird situation, but like in a personal selling situation, they have their own time now where they kind of have the upper hand of the power, or a pedestal, if you will, to have their voices heard. So you want to make sure that you're listening and showing your emotion, that you do care about what they're saying. And I think in the end, that will help you in your sales pitch. That will also help you become more trustworthy in the eye of the customer, which again, the customer trusts you, they're going to listen to what you say, and in the end will increase your probability of making a sale. And then lastly, it can help your reputation in future sales, which is always the end goal for personal selling. You always want to make sales, and then you always want to have a good relationship with the person at the end, which is again asking for feedback after what you've done to build upon your network and your company. So yeah, if you're able to do all those things, then I'd say you're doing a pretty good job, especially in personal selling. So, and those are my sources right there. I'll stop sharing my screen, but thank you everyone for listening. Again, my name is Liam O'Brien, and I appreciate you all. So thank you.